What's up folks, this is Jasper Fox making yet another YouTube video, and this video is going to be... Actually, first I'd like to make an announcement. I have just graduated from Hogwarts University! I'm kidding, that was a stupid joke. That was one of the stupidest jokes I made, and this actually won in a raffle. It's cool though, right? So now all I need are some glasses and I can say I'm Harry Potter. Also I need to shrink a bit. Anyways, on to the real points. This is 19 interesting facts about Xbox history. So on. Again, this is something I looked up online, so this is not my personal opinion. So let's do this. Number 19. The logo and branding are green because that was the only color the designer Horace Luke had available after all his nice marker pens were stolen, at least according to Seamus Barkley. Apparently, it was the green nobody wanted. Okay, number 18. Pitching the original Xbox was a shaky business, especially if companies don't believe it's a real product. Apparently, EA wanted to call Microsoft when Blackley arrived to talk to them to make sure there was an adult who knew about the idea of a Microsoft games console. So apparently it was just a theory. Okay, originally Microsoft didn't think Halo would be Xbox's breakout success. That only goes to Old World, Munch's Odyssey, the third in Loam Lanning's Belch-obsessed Alien saga. Blackley apparently brought up Malice, the Gwen Stefani-fronted action platformer, which Phil Spencer, seemed to have forgotten ever came out at all. Okay. Bungie wasn't very happy about Halo on Xbox. In fact, Jason Jones was apparently furious when Blackley had screwed up his plans to make this awesome Mac game. I'm fairly sure he'll be okay with it now, considering how popular it is now. But of course we covered some of the other facts. The original Xbox... Wait, whoops. I had completely forgot. That was, Okay, so the, that was number 17 and 16. Now we move on to number 15. The original Xbox's hard drive was a source of contention. Seamus Blackley apparently threatened to quit if the hugely expensive hard drive inside his machine was removed, but he also had to promise to stop complaining about the enormous Duke controller, which he despised. Okay, number 14. Microsoft executives can dislike their own console, at least rollers of it anyway. There's a wonderful moment around the 11-minute mark where Phil Spencer darkly mutters, "We hated the Xbox 360 arcade SKU," and no one seems to notice. Okay, number 13. The three executives' favorite original Xbox games are... Peter Moore was... Crimson Skies. For Peter Moore, it was the first game he played when he arrived at Microsoft. Voodoo Vince for Phil Spencer, the first game he completed with his daughters, and Psychonauts for Seamus Blackley, although he rather cruelly jokes that it's forgotten action-adventure Azurk Rise of Parathia. Okay, number 12. The story behind the Duke is a little odd. Blackley admits that this could be apocryphal, but here's his take on the genesis of the massive gamepad. Somebody's, brother-in-law had an electronics design firm, and they designed the internal circuit board for a controller with the features we wanted, but the circuit board was the size of a large dinner plate. They shrunk it down as best they could, just not quite enough. So apparently, it must have been about the size as these flashcards are right now. Okay, that was probably, one moment. Okay, yes. Number 11. There was a secret campaign to get rid of the Duke. Blackley might have promised not to complain about the controller, but that didn't mean he couldn't get others to do it for him. He secretly canvassed Japanese developers and received so many requests for a smaller controller that he had to create an Excel spreadsheet. Now the controllers for the Xbox, the original Xbox, are about this size, even smaller, about the size that my hands make up. Okay, number 10. Capcom weren't aware of irony. When Blackley arrived at the legendary developer's headquarters to talk about the Duke, it decided to show him the 40-button mega controller for Steel Battalion, as he put it. Wait, I'm canvassing you to make a smaller controller and you're asking me to approve a desk? It's really impressive if you see the image. Okay, number 9. Peter Moore had a strange taste in office furniture. On the topic of Capcom's experiments, Moore brings up the fact that if someone came for a meeting and needed an extra chair, he would use the enormous Steel Battalion box. Number 8. The code word for E3 disasters. There's a code word for E3 disasters. A bit of inside knowledge for you. Microsoft's on-stage gameplay demos are performed live, but that doesn't mean there's a contingency plan. If something goes wrong, someone backstage is playing a demo at an identical pace and the feed is swapped. If that goes wrong, there's a video of a demo ready to play too. Apparently the internal term for this is Broken Arrow. Okay, number 7. Broken Arrow was a little less comfortable once at first, the first announcement of the original Xbox at GDC in 2000, a backup player was positioned under the stage, looking up through the floor. Number 6. The original Xbox announcement was a bit of a shock for some. The original Xbox was designed all the way down the line alongside processor manufacturer AMD. However, 2 days before the reveal, the decision was made to switch the Intel and some AMD representatives only found out in the crowd on the day of truth. I could see all the AMD guys looking like they're going to kill themselves, recalls Blackley. Okay, and number 5. Peter Moore claims that he really got that tattoo. Moore's famous for his set-in-skin release date promised for Halo 2, but there's been hot debate as to whether it was the real deal. He continues to claim that it is, but he wouldn't show it off during podcasts. It's a tattoo on his arm saying November 9, and the Halo insignia with the number 2 in it, just in case you're wondering. Okay, number 4. Visualizing how much money Microsoft had to spend can be difficult. So difficult when Peter Moore and company, or co-creator, whatever, were told they had several $1 billion for the Xbox 360 launch. Executive Robbie Bach printed out, probably fake $100 million bills and told them to spread them around the room to better visualize how they would spend the cash. Okay, number 3. Competing with Sony means walking in his shoes. True. To plan for how to release alongside the PS3, Peter Moore recalls wargaming, a scenario with the 360 team. He played Ken Kutaragi with the sole aim of destroying the 360 launch. They failed to include Nintendo, who, as Phil Spencer puts it, destroyed both of us, Microsoft and Sony, with a Wii. If you've seen a clip on YouTube, you'll see, it's actually funny. There's a clip on YouTube where you see, it's an episode of SpongeBob where Squidward gets his own snail, and The representatives of each side were Squidward was Sony, SpongeBob was Microsoft, and Patrick was Nintendo. And the respective snails were, oh, for Snaily, Squidward Snail, it was the PS4. For Gary, it was the Xbox One, and for The Rock, it was the Wii U. Needless to say, the Wii U won. While I'll spoil the episode for you. Okay, anyways, number 2, Steve Ballmer is a confident man. When Peter Moore went to the Microsoft CEO to explain that there needed to be a 360 recall after the Red Ring of Death problem, he was worried about the response when he asked for $1.15 billion to get it done. Ballmer said yes without a moment's hesitation. It's actually happened to my console a few years back, because I had an Xbox 360, but unfortunately, because of a game I played, there was an E74 error, and it essentially broke down my Xbox, so I couldn't play anymore. But now we got a new one, and I now have my own console. So now on to the last one, number 1. There's a conspiracy theory about Xbox's failure in Japan. Xbox has always had a hard time out east. After the bafflement at the Duke controller, a rumor went around that the disk drive would slightly scratch disks as it ran. Something Peter Moore says he thinks is down to industrial espionage. Perhaps wisely, he won't say more on the subject. Although, to be honest, that actually might have a point there, because when I played both consoles, after I took the discs out, I noticed some scratches on them, and I barely handled them all that much. So the only way that they could have been scratched all that much was if someone, namely my relatives or me, made a mistake with the discs, made a mistake with handling the discs, or it was the console itself that was ruining the discs. There were minor scratches, so it didn't amount to much. Some games eventually stopped working because they were getting too old. Well, anyways, that's all for the facts. Thank you for watching. I do hope you appreciated this video. You can like, you can comment, you can share this video if you want. You can subscribe to my channel to see, or you can search my channel to see more kinds of videos like this, and I'll try and get back to you with making some other videos as soon as possible. Anyways, I guess that's all I got. Thank you so much. This is Jasper Fox signing out.